Hello everybody, this is Magnum Pi. I'm here with Vahilo, Teku, and Golgotha. Dark Templar couldn't join us tonight. We are Initiative Zero. We're going to play some more Chronicles of Darkness. Second story in the Second City Chronicle called A Tale of Two Cities, as we look into the further adventures of Elliot, Vinnie, Christopher, and Grayson as they pull back more veils that hide mysterious supernatural Chicago. How are you guys doing?
Oh, pretty good.
Good so far.
No, I'm good. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Yeah, life has slowed down, which means we can do more games, which is great. So, when last we left, Grayson and Christopher, you guys were about to open up a tome that you thought was in the possession of Vinnie, and Vinnie and Elliot were at a store in a mall, and you found out some interesting information about Karen. And so we're going to go with Christopher and Grayson. You guys are in the special reserved section there. You got the gloves on. You took the book off the shelf.
Okay, well, let's kind of look at each other and kind of quizzically and open it up.
All right.
Before we do, can I just take a look at the outside of this book, like relative to the actual book, as far as we're familiar with it?
Okay.
Like, superficially, are there similarities? Are
Any
there
scratches? Any like that we wouldn't know, or like defects?
suspicious tripwires?
What are you looking for in particular? Are you looking for like evidence of forgery, a trap? What are you looking for?
Forgery.
I'd say things that stand out as distinct, like different runic inscriptions, or
So something that would suggest that it's not the same book.
yeah.
Okay, so more about a forgery than a trap or something like that.
Well, we'll get to trap.
Well, yeah, I just want to know which one. Which one are you
Yeah.
looking for? It kind of determines different things.
Yeah.
So
At this point, I'm thinking forgery,
cool. Yeah.
and then I'll look at trap.
Yep. So if you guys want to do a, you can both be looking for the same thing. It's going to be. It's a book, which means that you guys could kind of look at it together to see. But if you're looking for two different things, then that's two different roles. But it sounds like, though, Grayson wants to look for forgery.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'll look for trap.
Okay, cool. So let's just take a look at what we have here. Grayson, you're pretty good at the academic stuff. A trap would be investigation. Forgery would be larceny, right? But I would suggest that your level of academics would also allow you to determine whether or not something is a forgery. So, but that would take quite a long investigation, right? So that would be like an extended check if you're using academics. Whereas something like wits plus larceny would be looking for the sorts of things that Christopher Teku was talking about, right? Just markings on the outside that are different, things like that. That would be like a wits plus larceny check.
Well, I've got nothing in larceny right now.
So yours would be a very long-term sort of thing. So we'll start with Christopher, and again, looking for those traps and things like that. I would say that you're probably looking for, again, those sorts of things. I would say are probably along the lines of larceny as well. You could probably use investigation. Yeah, I'd say wits plus investigation will work as well.
Okay. Wits investigation. Before I roll it, are there any negatives you'd like to throw at me?
I think you guys got a decent amount of time anyway. Yeah, I think you're good with. You don't really have any penalties based on what you've got with you. So you're okay where you are and things like that. Yeah. So everything appears copacetic. Now with something like investigation, you're looking at like physical, mechanical type things like wires and stuff like that, as opposed to runic symbols or something occultic like that.
Yeah, that's a different set of rules.
Yeah. All right. So, Grayson, you're going to be kind of analyzing this thing,
Right. So
spending
intelligence and
some time.
academics.
I'd say it's intelligence plus academics. I would say that every roll is going to be a half hour worth of investigating this thing,
Okay.
as you kind
And this
of
is
look at it with with a rather, I don't know. Let's see, to come to a conclusion. I'm gonna say you're probably looking at 5 successes.
all right. I got 9 again, so I'll click that
Hmm.
as well. All right. Well, not a great start, but not a bad start.
Yeah.
Now
So
that I've
you,
finished my initial check, do you want me to give you a hand?
Sure.
All right, and that was academics and which?
intelligence plus
Academic
academics.
intelligence.
All
I'll
right.
take one.
Yeah. So add 1 to your next roll.
There we go.
All right.
Only took an hour. Not bad.
Yeah. So an hour with you pointing out things and talking amongst yourselves. You deduce most definitely that this is it is it was made to look very much like the book, the age of it, and the like. The symbols that you see aren't the same symbols that you saw before.
Now, I was going to ask one of the things I was going to ask is because on the other book we all saw something different. So we look at one page, they look at the same page and see something different. So one of the things I would do is that I would be kind of drawing out what I saw and asking Christopher what he saw. If there's
Yeah.
anything similar.
That said, because it was different between you guys, it stands to reason that it could be different the next time you look at it as well. So while it certainly is a telltale sign, it's not nearly as telltale as the things that you find under close examination. You've looked at
But
many.
I thought my interpretation of it would have been consistent. I mean, I wouldn't know what it was, but it would be consistent due to fitful slumber.
If you were aware of that, yeah. Right, this is the first time you would have seen the book since.
Yeah, since that point. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah, but going forward, you would notice consistency if you have a comparison, right? If something to compare it to.
Yeah.
So, but it's that close examination that Grayson has along with Christopher that you're really able to tell. You take a close look at the spine, and you can tell that the sort of aging that was done to the paper, it's not even, right? It's like somebody worked really hard to make this book look like the other book, but it's not. It's not that book. They did a really, really good job forging it, but it's definitely a fake.
Well, that's really suspicious. It's almost like someone's covering our tracks.
Yeah, that's really strange.
I have 2 ideas as to who that could be.
Do we know any, like the police returned the book, right?
Nope, it was returned into the Dropbox.
Yeah, it was reported that it was just brought back to the library.
Okay.
Yeah, they found it. They found it in the night Dropbox.
So my first suspicion would be Jim, because he wants it kept safe. So it makes sense that he would do this.
Exactly.
But oh no, I'd be saying this out loud, yeah.
Yeah.
And my second suspicion is not founded in anything aside from the fact that he keeps showing up, and that'd be, and I'll look around because I'm pretty sure he was here recently, is Blueford.
Well, he's the one that told you that the book got returned, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's.
I mean, it's a couple of times that personally he's pulled me out of a jam. He seems to show up exactly when he needs to do that, or to, in this case, get the ball rolling.
Would you have talked to me about the other times that he got like the?
he could right now.
Yeah. So
Well,
what are the other times?
Well, I mean, there was the point where we got pulled into the office for digging around in the vents prior to our little escapade.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did.
Extraplanar escapade. And the incident with chameleon-eyed Stinky Steven.
What was that?
So, if I remember, he had a bit of a mental break in the hospital, or in the library right in front of me, and he was chasing me around. It was a whole thing. I'm surprised I didn't actually mention this. And he cornered me in an elevator, and Bluford was able to just show up out of nowhere and talk him down. Now, I don't know this guy, this Bluford. I mean, he's obviously very nice and seems to have an excellent sense of timing, but outside of those things,
How did he talk him down?
I'll be honest, it was a stressful situation. I was in a state not really fit to. I'm not exactly happy reflecting on this, let's say.
Yeah.
But he just kind of, I don't know, got through to him, shook something loose, and got him queued up to get the help he needs, I guess.
No. So. Well, I'm inclined to talk to our friend Jeff to see what he knows about this, and maybe you could get more information about what the nature of the book is. They're very cagey in trying to describe it and explain it to us.
Sorry, Jeff?
Or whatever the guy's name is.
Jim?
Jim. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
There's a J.
Don't get me wrong, I am just curious. What have your dealings with Bluford been to this point?
Not much. I mean, well, he's in.
Because don't get me wrong, you guys didn't seem on, a first name basis, but
yeah,
I am curious.
Yeah, he's in the same department.
No, he's in the philosophy department.
Or he's in the humanities, anyways.
Yeah.
He came to introduce himself to me. He said that he had been teaching the university. I think he said that he was not new, but he's not necessarily been there for decades, and kind of introduced and kind of welcomed me to the university. It was I'd been there for a few months, but he'd said that he kind of was interested in meeting up with me anyways, or to talking to me. So other than that, not really much. But every time I've seen him since then, it's been primarily in these situations.
Well, even that, I don't know, the timing's almost too good, right? Like, to wander through and pull rank and basically get us out of detention. That's one thing.
In terms of quote-unquote pulling rank, he's a professor. Just he's no different than me in that respect. I don't think he's even
that right there. I mean, how was he able to do that, given that you weren't?
Well, how was he able to persuade your assailant to leave you? He seems to be a very persuasive individual.
I suppose that's fair.
Oh, just looking at my notes, he's philosophy and ancient history at the University of Chicago. So,
yes. So in the same department.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just, he's shown up enough times that it's gotten my attention.
Well, we have two people we could talk to. Because
don't get me wrong. Jim is clearly the more logical choice, but there's just something sticking out. It's like a bad penny.
Well, let's put him on the back burner for now. We'll talk to him later on. Because you're right. I mean, there's a lot of coincidental things that have occurred that it's piquing my curiosity.
And again, he's not a fulcrum by any stretch. He's just kind of there. Mm-hmm. But Jim makes more sense at this juncture. So we'll start with the book, and if need be, we'll go that way.
Agreed.
All right.
But it doesn't seem to be rigged to explode. It does, seem to be a fake.
Well, can we take the book with us? Can we sign it out?
Well, that book wouldn't leave the library normally.
Yeah, I know. I figured that would be a bad idea to try that.
I don't quite have the the rank to do that sort of a maneuver.
Do you have a digital camera handy?
That's an excellent question. I'm trying to think back to 2005 and what came on phones and computers.
There are cameras on phones, but they're pretty
Yeah.
low res. But you
Yeah.
could take pictures.
I know I took some on my phone the last time, and I remember back 2005 resolution's kind of shitty.
And it's actually 2006 now. But
It's a better one.
yeah,
It's now 3 pixels. Yeah, I'll take a picture with my phone just in case, and if there's nothing else that we can use.
cool.
Yep.
I'll take a picture of a few pages.
Yeah. Yep, the binding and the like. Yeah.
All right. Well, we should go meet up with Jim. Do you have his number?
I can reach out to him, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably a better idea to reach out to him and say, ask to have a meeting with him rather than just show up.
Yeah. But at this point, in looking at the actual interior of the book, what stands out?
How good a forgery it is. That's what stands out.
So it would fool most people.
It would fool people that aren't looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. Like, it took you an hour to find anything that would tell you at all that it's not, like, definitively that it's a forgery.
Yeah. And
You know,
for a
the fact-
specialist, someone familiar with the subject, so
Yeah, the fact that both of you encountered the original and the text looks different, right? And you both see the same text. That's, that's,
Somebody knew what it looked like and already, so they had an idea.
yeah. But they would have had to more than just know
Somebody
what it
familiar.
looked like, right? Like, they would have had to have it kind
Familiar
of beside them to make it.
Yeah. Oh.
interesting.
Like, it's that good.
Yeah, I mean, we can follow up with Jim. We should probably let Elliot and Vinnie know about what we've found about these werewolves. I mean, Elliot specifically, I think, would be interested because he was kind of showing an interest earlier, and he seems really invested in Karen.
Yeah, we should probably talk to them as well. Well, not probably. We definitely should talk to them as well. That's the reason why we came here.
They were out on the town, so we'll leave that go for now. Let's go track down Jim.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll move back to Vinnie. So since Elliot's player isn't with us, Vinnie, how do you kind of go your separate ways from Elliot? How did you guys?
Well, I'd kind of be thinking that I got the little video and screen grab of the person that Karen was at the store with.
Yeah.
Kind of thank the guy who's working there and all that kind of stuff. Kind of pump his tires a little bit because I think he needed that. Email the video and the picture to myself, so I have a copy.
You wouldn't be able to do that.
Or I guess not.
I guess from
print.
their computer, you might be able to log into like Hotmail or something like that if you wanted to do that. But it took quite a bit to persuade this guy. So you were successful there.
Does he have a printer in the back?
Yeah, he could probably print a picture off for you or something like that.
Yeah, he can print a picture off.
Yeah,
Maybe
one of the ones that looks decent enough. Yeah.
Yeah, like a screen grab. Maybe.
Yeah, it's got a clear.
Oh, my mistake. I printed in color. Oops.
Well, probably. Maybe not at this kind of store, but like they would have had like a fax machine printer sort of thing, right? Like,
right.
So it would be a decent print, legible enough that you can read the guy's jacket and stuff like that and see a clear picture of his face, right? So because you did get 5 successes, so.
So then I think that with that, I'd see if there was a spot in the mall, like a Staples or something, where I could make a photocopy.
Yeah.
So I could give a copy to Elliot.
Sure.
And then just because he would be upset seeing Karen with another another guy, maybe take him for dinner at the food court, and then drive him back to wherever he's sleeping, to wherever he's staying the night.
Okay, so let's just not interpret what Elliot would do. Let's just say, come up with a reason why you would go your separate ways from Elliot. Because I don't want to infringe on his ability. Yeah.
Could I say it's that I think you might need time to kind of process whatever's going on?
Sure. You can make up your excuse, yeah. And then just go your separate ways.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So where do you go then?
And then I was wanting to go catch up with David Way at the Puitok Center.
Okay, cool. So you make your way back to Chinatown, and yeah, it's a I'm trying to remember, what time was it when we started all this before?
I can't remember if it was like 7 or 9 that they had their meetings.
Yeah, 7:00 is the meeting time. But I'm just thinking when we started, when you and Elliot went to the store and stuff like that.
I think it was afternoon.
Yeah,
that's why I was kind of thinking I could have dinner with Elliot at the mall, and then
or maybe you can drop him wherever he wants to go or something like that. Yeah. Sure. Okay. I just don't want to infringe on his freedom there, but that's cool. Yeah, and then Christopher and Grayson, you guys spent a little bit of time digging around. Yeah, so it'd be late. We'll say it's late afternoon. It's not quite time to for the meeting. But you go to the Puitok, and they tell you that David won't be here for quite some, or Mr. Wei won't be here for quite some time. He's probably at the Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association. Which is just down the, a couple blocks down the road from the Puitok Center.
I'll maybe just kind of walk around and see, how well the my business is being represented in Chinatown.
Okay, give it a little bit of a tour there, and you're walking around, and you take note of the fact that there's a number of your bins and or you see a truck go by once in a while, that sort of thing, making its rounds. Yeah. Are you just trying to bide time till the meeting, or did you want to talk to David about something in particular?
I'm just biding time until the meeting.
Okay, cool. Then we'll jump back to Christopher and Grayson. Just make sure to tie up that end there.
Okay. We're on our way to the other library.
Okay. So you guys head over to the University of Illinois at Chicago. You find yourself sitting at one of the tables off in one of the corners of the library, in a quiet spot, talking with Jim. So okay. you found a copy of the book?
Not a cop. Well, it wasn't a copy of the book. A forgery that's being presented as if it is the real book.
But you guys still have the real book.
Yes, we do. But this forgery was very, very, very well done, to the point where the person who created the forgery would have to know this book intimately, like almost like they had it beside them.
Well, that's actually why we're here. We were going to follow up and see if that was you that had done that, because you were quite adamant that we had to keep this thing safe, and so this seemed like the perfect move to cover our tracks.
I guess it would, yeah. Unfortunately, that's not my skill set, guys. Yeah, not much of a forger. And I didn't really know what the book was till Elliot brought it to me. So I'm not even that intimately familiar with it. Kind of stayed in a Ziploc the entire time I've had it.
Do you know who might have done this?
Well, what can I tell you? That guy that was looking for it he probably knew the book pretty well, considering he was looking for it.
But why would he want to forge it? Or
Unless he had already sent the forgery in the direction of, unless he plans on coming at us again, actually. That's a much more reasonable.
Well, he does know that you've got the book, right?
And he's the only one.
yeah,
Other than me.
yeah. We haven't seen him in several months.
No, I haven't seen him since December.
Did you find anything more about this individual? Learn anything else about him?
Who, me?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you would be trying to find anything out about him.
I would just make sure that we steer clear of him.
He said the same thing about us staying clear of you. It almost seemed like you knew each other, but you clearly don't know each other.
I just know he's bad news. And I mean, if you want to see, exercise any of your skills, right, to see if you can pierce, his composure, then you're more than welcome to do that as he's talking to you guys. Don't forget that you have those skills, right?
I mean, I've got a specialization in lies, so I might throw that out.
Yeah, sure. So his composure's pretty high. He's got a composure of 4. So that's your penalty on your roll, as you're just trying to passively have this conversation, right?
Yeah.
You're not doing a sort of interrogation of him. You're just conversing and trying to get a read. No, it would be something that you would have to do individually, right? Yeah.
I might just ask leading questions like, what can you tell us about this book? What is so interesting about it that we have this guy on our tail?
Okay, so you're curious to see if he's lying about what he knows about the book?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's kind of the core of the...
Nope, that's cool. Oh, why do you have a modifier of... But you didn't put your penalty of 4 in there.
I haven't done anything yet.
Oh, sorry. I totally just looked at Grayson's roll.
That's a lot of dice. Alright, so it was +1 -4, so -3. Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of things are you asking him about the book?
I mean, we'd start with general terms, like what he actually knows about it, why he's so interested in keeping it hidden and safe, and why this Mason guy might be chasing after us, what the significance of this book is.
Okay, so when he says he doesn't really know what the book is, he can't make heads or tails of it, that stuff he's not lying about. When you ask, what the significance of it is, he really doesn't know what its significance is, which is, it comes across mostly as true, or why this guy would be looking for it. That's where when he says, I don't really know, it comes across as true, but that he probably has his suspicions, right? That he probably has some sort of idea that he knows more than he's letting on.
Well, I might try and delicately press him on that point.
All right. So, and that's where you would have to, how do you want to go about doing that? That's going to be a manipulation plus persuasion sort of thing.
Yeah,
you're gonna show your hand, right? You're gonna be saying, "Look, I know you know something," right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to go beyond. You're gonna have to be more, I guess, slightly less subtle than you've been. You're gonna have to.
Yeah, that's it. At this point, it's been smoke and mirrors, and now, I mean, we're not using heavy tactics at all, but we do have to be a bit more pointed.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna do. Yeah, you're going to do manipulation plus something like persuasion, or are you going to try to intimidate him?
Oh, God, no.
Okay.
That's much more heavy-handed.
Yeah. So probably manipulation plus persuasion.
And I
And
think I'll
he's
throw willpower at this because it seems important.
yeah,
That's the
and
one.
and he's going to be using his composure plus subterfuge to resist. So resisted roll.
So am I taking any negatives, or are we just?
It's just a resisted roll. So he just roll you whoever gets more successes as you're like, look, man, I really you're trying to convince him to share because yeah.
No, that's fine. Really, thank you so much. Well, at least the willpower did something.
It did, yeah.
No.
Unfortunately, he makes 2 successes to your 1, and so he's like, sorry, man, I don't know much more. I do know that he's probably knows more about the book than I do, and for that reason, he's probably really interested. There's something in it for him, but what that is, can't say.
Dice, you failed me.
Yeah.
So I'll look over at Chris and say, well, I mean, maybe that's another avenue to go down if Jim here isn't responsible.
What? Talk to?
No, we're not talking to angry Dolph Lundgren. We're not going to do that.
No.
No, but we should find out more about this individual. Maybe there's a more subtle way to get information about them.
My only other question, Jim. I mean, if you don't know anything about it, outside of, angry Dolph Lundgren, who might, and who would be, I guess the term would be safe. Who would be safe to approach to find out?
Let me have your phone number. Or do either of you have him as a contact or anything like that? Or
He would already have my information. We were communicating.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll give him my phone number as well.
Okay, is like, let me talk to some people that are into books that are, I don't know, of very particular interest, and maybe they'd be happy to talk to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Sure, no problem. Well,
All right.
Well, we've taken enough of your time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you
don't
again.
hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, I'll, like I said, I'll see what these people have to say, and I'll point you in their direction if it's anything worthwhile.
All right, well, again, we appreciate it. Standard shaking of hands.
Oh yeah, and he's again, he's super friendly, and he's he's not put out by your questions or anything like that, right? But he's worried that you guys are kind of still digging into this thing, right? He leaves you with a kind of like, you're better off just
Dropping it.
just hiding it and keeping it hidden. Don't draw attention.
Well, if that's the case, why didn't he just scoop it and Jumanji it?
He's like the ring. If he has it, he'll want the power.
I don't even know that there's power involved. It's just
No, I'm just making
a literary equivalent of a wacky
So
wavy and
you guys could be having that conversation as you're walking out of the library.
Yeah,
sort of
no,
thing.
we're not talking.
Yeah, for sure.
We shook Jim's hand, turned to each other immediately.
That's right. While you're shaking his hand, I don't know if you just
Like, I'm right here, guys.
Yeah. Cool. All right, plans. You still got some time, Grayson, before your meeting in the evening.
Yeah. Well, we also said that. What else did we say we were going to do? We said that we were going to talk to Vinnie and Elliot about what we learned.
Well, you could give Vinnie a call.
Yeah. So I'll give him a call.
All right. As you're walking back to the car, Vinnie, your phone rings.
Vinnie here.
Hello, Vincent. This is Grayson. How are you doing?
Oh yes, Grayson. I'm doing okay.
Yeah. So Chris and I had gone to do some research on what they experienced with that woman, and maybe get some possible information about what happened to Karen. Is there a place we could meet up? We could bring that or discuss it, I should
Yeah,
say.
sure. I'm just here in Chinatown,
Oh, okay.
right right by the Pui Talk Center.
I'll be heading there this evening as well for the meeting.
Oh, it starts pretty soon. I'm just gonna get some dinner and I'm probably head in after I eat.
Oh, excellent. Well, I'll meet you there.
Yeah, sounds good. Is Christopher coming?
Uh, Actually, I should. Christopher, are you going to be coming as well?
Do the
I
what?
can explain the situation, what it's about.
Uh, no, I'm not really affiliated with that particular group.
No, but come on, anyways. It's actually it's. I wasn't either. I was kind of encouraged to start attending, and it's actually been pretty useful. Even if just the one time experience, it's kind of neat.
I mean, yeah, I don't. I guess I don't have a whole lot else going on this evening. So
Excellent.
it's 2006.
All
I
right.
can't just sit here swiping Tinder, I guess.
Well, I'm just gonna head into this restaurant, and I gave him the name of a restaurant. So when you get here, I'll if I'm not in there, I've gone into the Pui Talk Center.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right,
Take care.
I'll hang up the phone.
Cool. So the Won Kow would be the restaurant. It's the oldest Chinese restaurant in Chicago.
Perfect.
And
What kind of
yeah,
restaurant is it?
what's that?
What kind of restaurant is it?
Like the authentic Chinese restaurant that you would have in Chinatown.
Oh,
Like
nice.
the oldest one in the
Good
whole
stuff.
city. So, yeah, so you guys meet up at the Won Kow, and
Yeah.
yeah, over plates of noodles and different types of sautéed meats and vegetables. There you are, slurping on things and trying to figure out how to use chopsticks, possibly, or perhaps you're more refined. I'd imagine
I
Grayson is probably more refined there, but
I'm
I
using
definitely
fork.
used.
yeah, Vinny's just using a fork and a knife, cutting everything up.
Yeah, I'm cutting the noodles into smaller pieces and just picking them up with my fork.
I'm not judging.
Maybe I'll get a spoon and just kind of do it like you do with spaghetti.
I might judge that. No. Um, yeah, no. No, I've been friends with Samantha long enough that
Oh yeah,
that pick-
So
So
yeah,
well,
I'm just sitting there.
so let's we'll kind of recount the information that we learned about at the library.
okay. You also, I think, wanted to connect with him about the werewolf information.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So
So
what are you guys telling me that you think that we're running into werewolves here? That kind of stuff doesn't exist, does it?
Well,
Well,
I we
there are
we
lots of
saw
things that didn't exist before we saw that they actually exist.
Elliot and I saw, and I'm gonna kind of lower my voice. Like a plainly mortally wounded woman. You just take off. Just get up and just ghost us.
yeah, and
That
Vinny has seen the exercising of supernatural powers, which is why he's currently mad, right? So
yeah. Like we're seeing more and more the oddities that this city has to offer, if we can call them that.
I mean, I'm generally a skeptic about these things, but I mean, when you see it with your own eyes several times, you kind of have to, come to the conclusion that well, maybe there's something more to this. And based upon what we saw, or what they saw, and some other information that came along the way that we kind of picked up over the weeks and months, It seems it's weird to say the most logical conclusion, but werewolves seem to be the most logical conclusion at this point.
Well, I'm again werewolves or the supernatural, but werewolves are kind of leading the charge as far as our suspicions at this point, based on our understanding of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what, like, how does the stuff that we've been kind of doing, like, did you guys find anything out about Karen or?
Well, at this point, and I think I already would have mentioned this, I was talking to her uncle pretty lengthily while we were searching Karen's house.
Yeah.
And he kept referring to the woman that's been hunting Karen as a monster. I don't think he's using that language lightly. I think it's quite intentional. And so that is what kind of got my brain rolling. Grayson and I got together and just, using his sort of academic prowess as a point of reference, thinned out what we thought was the most logical sort of potential cause based on different traditions, and it landed us on werewolves. I don't know
Right.
anything about the specifics of this woman aside from the fact that she seems to be able to survive much more brutal injuries than she should. I don't know anything about Karen other than the fact that she's in the wind.
Well, there's something else. I think Elliot said something
I
about
want to
her.
pull the picture that I took from the security camera out of my jacket and put it on the table. And I said, well, I found that Karen's been hanging out with someone different. And I just want to slide the picture across the table to them.
Do I recognize this person?
Nope.
I don't know.
Well, no, I'm sorry. That was not directed at you.
No, you don't.
How about? And I don't either.
He's got a football jacket. I mean, that's a school from a spot in Bridgeport. So I might be able to go look him up when school's back in session and figure it out. So
Does she look like she's like nervous or like or does she look?
no, in the video she looked comfortable with this guy.
Huh.
Like I don't want to say like as a brother or anything like that, but she didn't look like she didn't want to be there. She looked like she definitely was okay with where she was and who she was with.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting.
So
well, at least
she is
safe,
on the run, right? So it's a fair supposition to say that Elliot wouldn't be the first person that she ran with, even if in passing.
yeah, but let's be real. Like this guy doesn't look like he's been living on the streets. Like he's got a nice football jacket. He attends that Catholic school. I don't know. He looks like he's got things kind of figured out.
No. Certainly raises some other questions, doesn't it? That's fascinating.
Does Elliot know about this?
Or he was there when I got the video. So I printed off one of the pictures and I gave him one of the pictures. Or we went and photocopied it, sorry.
Yeah.
So and then I don't know how he was going to take it, so I just dropped him off at home.
So I'm gonna look again at the jacket. Is there like anything identifiable on like dates, for example? Like class of blah 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 or
No, it's got a number on it, right? Like, yeah, and unfortunately you can't see his name across the back, but you can clearly see the number on the sleeve. Right.
And the number is
I don't know, some number between 1 and 100. Let's say it's 38. 38.
So he likely plays defense.
All right.
this is news to Magnum as well.
Yes.
Yeah. The fact that everyone else went silent means that we are all very much into sports.
Apparently he plays defense.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
I knew the number signified something. I didn't know what it was though. So
yeah, it's sure.
more proficient. So
Well,
It also means he has blue eyes. I don't know.
unless like, yeah. Anyway, whatever.
And he's left-handed. I don't know. Go on. So, yeah. So his face is clear. Like, you can clearly make out his face, the number on his sleeve, right in the picture.
What's it look like?
Handsome. He's a good-looking kid. Probably in his late teens.
well, Vincent, when you do go to the school to get information, would you mind if I come along?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna kind of play it off like I'm a security guard somewhere, and my company does security somewhere, and he was caught doing something he shouldn't have been doing on camera.
Okay.
So you're welcome to tag along, but that's going to be my game.
That's fair. As long as I know and I don't ruin it for you.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with this meeting tonight?
At the Putak Center?
Yeah. I mean,
Well, I kind of got invited for the first when Albert Quay kind of first went missing. I was doing, you know, I thought I saw something, I wasn't sure, and so I started chatting with one of the guys here, David Way, and I also knew him kind of from some business that I had here in Chinatown, and he invited me to come. I mean, it's quite relaxing. It's quite kind of centering, I guess, and yeah, I've just enjoyed coming to these, so I keep doing it.
Yeah.
And you've learned some skills too, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
It's interesting too because Samantha kind of the same trajectory. She invited me to attend. I know she's a fairly high-ranking individual within this particular movement, and her father is who's her father again?
David Way.
Yeah, David Way. I think that was David, and her father's David, and as you well know. So, yeah, it's actually been pretty useful experience. I mean, it was strange because I grew up Catholic, and I didn't think I'd be attending an event like this.
so sorry, what typically happens at these meetings, just so that I know what sort of tune to dance to?
Well, it's meditation. It's essentially kind of lessons, I suppose.
Yeah. So I can just fill you all in on what it is. Pretty much, it's the notion that the problem is uncontrolled emotion, and so they teach you how to focus your ambitions, focus your fear and your greed, control your emotions by centering yourself. And they teach you, well, these guys so far have learned, and they would have shared with you some of the psychological principles that which is why they now have specializations in psychology.
It's interesting.
It really is an incredible experience. I certainly highly recommend it. And is Vincent, is this the one where the what is it, the Ascendant Master is going to be at?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a experience you'll enjoy.
Well, I mean, I'm in to check it out, I guess.
Totally,
I don't want to sound like I'm a cult recruiter. It's not like that, certainly, but it is a neat experience.
And Christopher, also, you've been receiving some counseling and the like. So
Yeah. So that's not totally
it's
divorced from my own experience, I guess.
Yeah, it's centering and stuff like that. So
what time is it now?
well, we can fast forward to that if that's what you guys want to do. Unless you have other things that you want to pursue.
No, that's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And just given how long we've been at this right now, how about we pick up there when we have our next session here. For those of you that have joined us, we really thank you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Our subscriptions are growing, which is great. We'd love to hear from you. Toss a comment down below. Join us on our Discord. It'd be really great to chat with you. And we'll continue the Second City Chronicle next time. Until then, I am Magnum Pi. I'm here with Vahilo, Teku, and Golgotha, and we are Initiative Zero.